Hi guys, today we'll start with part B, next lesson, that is the vector algebra. So before I start with the vector algebra, we'll discuss about some basics, that is the scalar and a vector. As we all know that the scalar and a vector, but even though I'll just explain the definition of the scalars and vectors and along with some examples. Okay, scalars is nothing but it is a quantity that involves only one value. That value I'll just take it as a magnitude. Okay, magnitude which is a real number. Then such quantities are called scalars. Is it clear? So hope you guys remember this definition. Scalars is nothing but a quantity that involves only a one value. That value I can take it as a magnitude, which is a real number. Such quantities are called as scalars. For example, the scalar quantities are, you can take it as the length, mass, time, distance, etc. So these quantities are scalar quantities. Okay, next is a vector. So vector is nothing but it is a quantity that involves both magnitude and a direction. And such a quantity are called vectors. Okay, vectors is nothing but what? It is a quantity that involves both a magnitude as well as a direction. Such quantities are called as vectors. Examples of vector quantities are velocity, displacement, force, momentum, etc. So these quantities are, I can say that, vector quantities. So now I'll just go with some basics. Is nothing but there is a line. I'll just consider one line which is in a three-dimensional space, or you can take it as in a plane. Okay, I'll take it this as a line L. Now in this line can be given a two direction by means of a arrow heads. Is nothing but, so here I'll take it a one direction and one more direction, that is this one. I'll take it this point. So with the help of this arrow direction, this line which is moving in a three-dimensional space, or you can take it as in a plane. So now line with one of these direction prescribed is called a directed line. You can observe this line. I'll just take it this one with a dotted line and it will move, and I'll take it somewhere here is a point A. Next it will move. I'll just take it with a arrow head. Here I'll consider one more point, that is a B. Again this will move. This is what a line. Now I can say that this line with one of two directions, so that we obtain a directed line. Then a directed line segment as a magnitude as well as a direction. Is it clear? It has a magnitude as well as a direction. As you can say that a quantity that has a magnitude as well as a direction is called as a vector. Is it clear? So now in this line segment is a vector and it is denoted as AB. This line is moving with this point. I'll take it as a A. Again it will move and somewhere here I'll take it as a B. So now from the distance of this one A to B, I can take it as a vector, that is AB. This arrow indicates a vector. Is it clear? So now, or you can take it as a, simply you can say it, this is a vector A. Is it clear? So now in this line I can say that this A is a initial point whereas B is the terminal point. Okay, now the distance between the initial and a terminal point of a vector is called as a magnitude. Is it clear? The distance between initial means the first point, initial, and a terminal point of a vector is called magnitude. Okay, now I can say that the arrow indicates the direction of a vector. Okay, this arrow indicates the direction of a vector. Now position vector, which is an important definition. Position vector. Before explaining this position vector, I'll just tell you one note. So as I said that, so length is a never negative, right? Since the length is a never negative, hence the notation I'll take it, that is a vector A less than 0 has no meaning. Hope you're getting point. Length is nothing but what? It will comes under where? It is a scalar. So now I'll just take that is a magnitude of this. If it is a negative value, then it has no meaning. Okay, which is a note. Next is the position vector. So I'll just go with the same line with a 2 points, that is the initial and a terminal point, and that is also a call it as it is a position vector with respect to a point O and a P. So here I'll just take a point O and this is what a point P. Here it will arrow will be I8 is nothing but the vector. The distance between this initial point and a terminal point, I'll just take it as a OP vector, and this is called as a position vector. And this position vector, with the help of a distance formula, the magnitude of this position vector OP vector, which is given by square root of x square plus y square plus z square. As I said that this line, it is in a three-dimensional space. Three-dimensional space is nothing but there will be a x, y, z axis. Then what is the position vector of the given point is nothing but it is a magnitude. Magnitude is nothing but modulus and that vector, which is equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square it is. Is it clear? This is a position vector. Okay, magnitude of OP. Next is direction cosines. Direction cosines. So now I'll just take the same position vector. Position vector OP, and this is of the point P of with x, y, z. Why? Because you can make out here. So this is what the figure. So I just took it this figure in a three-dimensional space, that is a x-axis, y-axis and a z-axis. Here you just look up with this point where the point which is of x, y, z, and in this figure then the angle is alpha, beta and a gamma with respect to x, y, z axis. Next, and these angles alpha, beta, gamma made by the vectors r, vector this one r, which is from O to P, this is a vector r with a positive direction of a x, y and a z axis respectively, are called as the direction angles. Okay, then the cosine value of these angles is nothing but alpha, beta, gamma. The cosine values of these angles are called as the direction cosines. In particular, they took it a one, that is a OAP. Okay, this triangle, and this make it as a right angle. Hence, you can go with a, that is trigonometric ratios, particularly for a cos. Cos is nothing but what? It is adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent is what? OP. Sorry, here is a OA. OA which is along x-axis. Then the hypotenuse is nothing but OP, where OP is of a vector r. Hence, the cos alpha is with respect to x-axis. With respect to x-axis, this make it as an angle alpha. Therefore, cos alpha is equal to x by r. X is nothing but adjacent. R is nothing but hypotenuse. Similarly, you can say that from this right angle triangle, the cos beta, which is equal to y by r, cos gamma is equal to z by r. Thus, the coordinates of the point P may be expressed as, that is a LR, MR, NR is nothing but they'll take it this cos alpha as a L, cos beta as a M, then cos gamma as a N. So in that case, they'll take a reciprocal. LR is equal to X, then MR is equal to Y, NR is equal to Z. And the proportional to the directions cosines is called as the direction ratios of a vectors. Is it clear? So here you just look up with this. I'll just take it alpha, beta, gamma are the angles with respect to x, y, z axis. Okay, now the cosine values of these angles, will call it as the direction cosines. Okay, so now cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma are called direction cosines. Direction cosines. Is it clear? Then there will be a direction ratios. How can we write the direction ratios? This cos alpha, which is along x-axis, with the help of a cos trigonometric ratios, is nothing but adjacent divided by hypotenuse. So here adjacent will be a x, hypotenuse is a vector r, this vector is nothing but a position vector OP. So OP, they'll take it as in the figure vector r. So next is cos beta is equal to y divided by r, then cos gamma is equal to z divided by r. Now we'll just make it, this is a simple cos alpha, they'll take it as a L. Okay, therefore LR is equal to x, and here MR is equal to y. Next, NR is equal to z. These LR, MR and NR, will call it as the direction ratios. Direction ratios